All right, let's do this. Let's do this. How long have you been doing that for, Andrew?
How long has this song been on?
The whole time. Just the whole time?
Just the whole time.
Great.
This song just makes you want to be in it. It does. Wait, what do you think about this as a shirt? Don't steal this idea, people who are listening. Maybe help me create it. A shirt that has a like dinosaur in the water where its head is coming up and it's like at a right angle and then a right angle and then a right angle. And the shirt is titled Poppin' Loch Ness Monster. It's a good one. It's a good one.
What is it?
What is it?
No, Lauren. Okay, so Lauren moved over the weekend, and I guess her internet is.
It didn't move with her.
Yeah, exactly.
Her internet is still at her old address.
She's trying to get that sorted, and then we were going to be. It doesn't matter. She's trying to get that sorted. We were trying to get other things sorted, but no Lauren tonight. You mean you and I, Patrick, could just talk Pokemon for an hour, maybe? Yeah, still can. Honestly, still can. We could have just been playing Pal World right now, which I hope that you're currently working on because I would like a gun. So if you could give me a gun, that would be great. No new place reveal. Not yet. It will happen. Hello, Kate McKenzie. Kate McKinnon. Kreider Design. Shout out Robbie's. Hey, pretty girl.
Hey, I'd like to think it's Kate. Or I'd like to think. Dang it. I messed it up.
Great. Sounds good.
Hey, can you roll it back 5 seconds? Roll it back 5 seconds for me. Say the thing about Kate and McKenzie.
Kate McKinnon.
No, Kate McKenzie. Say McKenzie.
Kate McKenzie.
I'd like to think that it's not just your Kenzie. She's our Kenzie. Dang it, wrong button.
Okay, whatever. Jedi was on Discord with us today. Will and I were...
That's what I was trying to do.
Especially when you hit the wrong one the first time.
Stupid music bed. Gosh.
Will and I were on Discord. We were playing Pal World, and Jedi jumped in the channel, and we were chatting for a bit. And then at some point, I realized 15 minutes had elapsed, and I hadn't heard Jedi say anything. And I was just like, Jedi, are you still there? And he was still there. He was just
lurking. What the heck, Jedi?
I like to think laying in wait. But he was just there.
Like a prowler. That's what that sounds like. That's a predator. That's a predator if I've ever heard. I'm pretty sure they use that exact language on that Dateline.
Sure, that is language they use. Discord is becoming more hobby. On top of that, we actually have on the Pal World side, something is like clicking in my headphones. And it's not anything in the real world. It's something that exists only in my ecosystem, and it's driving me crazy.
Do you still have the?
I have a metronome that I got implanted into the back of my skull. Yeah,
always be thinking in rhythm.
So we did finally throw away the the metronome headphones, Metrophones. Mackenzie threw those away a couple months ago. Actually, maybe she tried to, and I stopped her. But I also think they got thrown away.
Can you reenact how that went? Did you yell? You yelled.
I said, stop, and she threw him away. But you don't have to defend it, Jedi. It's fine that you don't have to defend it. It's fine that you were there. But anyway, on the Pal World side, if you want to play, we have an actual server now, a server that is always up. So before, when we were playing, Will had to always be on because Will was the one running the server. Now there are no boundaries to the amount of time that we can spend playing Pal World.
We can spend upwards of... And then I assume you'll put in the answer there, like in post.
Yeah.
You'll figure that out.
I will say, if you want to play, you got to put up like $5 because servers aren't free, and that's the world we're living in.
$5 plus the $30 for the game.
Like technically, it's like every 2 people has to put up $5 or something.
You're just nickel and diming me out of this.
I don't know. Plus, you do have to put. So it is the Steam version of the game. So you're right. You have to put up the $29.99, $29.95, $98. Not sure. $30, and then there are server costs, so you just got to be willing to, maybe pitch in a little bit, but that's it.
Did you end up getting the Steam version?
You know Mackenzie's on the call. Don't ask me that right now.
Okay, so afterwards, just give me hey, tell you what, give me 2 winks for yes and 2 winks for no. That way she won't know.
Great. If I wink, if it's both eyes, does that count as
That counts
2?
as, yes, yeah.
Okay. Great. I don't want to play with strangers.
A two-eyed blink is just, or a two-eyed wink is just a blink. That's all it
Exactly.
is. Yeah.
Exactly. So, no, I do have the Steam version now. And after I'm pretty sure I talked to Michael into getting Game Pass so he could play with Will and I now have the Steam version and we'll need to. Thank you. That's what I need. I need more of that energy. We are up to date now. We are up to date.
That's great. Now I can play with you. Because I have the Steam version as well because Cooper bought it. So
Okay, so Will, send Andrew the details.
Will you, send Andrew,
It sounds like, I don't know. It's, we'll send it. But that sounds like WE''LL. Yeah, I know that's true. I don't remember what I say, and I never re-listen either. So I'll forget about this.
Look how foolish
Will send you the details.
Will send me the details.
Yeah.
Look at how silly we look right now, Patrick. I fixed it. Okay.
What happened?
Well, we had the graphic that is for when there's 3 people on, but there's not 3. It's just you and me. Lauren's. We assume she's fine.
I don't know. I so don't even care about
graphics. Great. That's great. That's what I want to hear.
That's where I'm at. You know what? Let's record.
Okay, let's just record, I guess.
I don't even know the category I got is fine. I'm gonna talk about something I meant to talk about a couple of weeks ago, and since Lauren's not here, I feel like we all get a pass to just do whatever we want to do. Okay. And then that's where I'm at.
You're gonna have an opportunity to talk about my Around the Table because you've played my Around the Table.
Gotcha. Cool. Great.
Does my voice sound like extra like deep and gravelly right now?
No, you sound like you need to go through puberty. Doc Reed, I am Reedicus. Category Smattagories. Doc,
we should create a category that's Smattagories. It's just maybe that's what the random
what would
one
it even
should
be?
It would just take the place of our
Kreider. The secret is my heart's never in it. That's the.
He's like the Bruce Banner
of not giving
of podcasting. He's always apathetic.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I already have the script, so.
All right, let's go. Let's do it.
Leave it up to Lord not being here, and we're all ready to go. We're gonna talk about. Well, we'll talk about it. Okay. Should I clear my throat before we start, or should I do it when you're trying to talk?
No, do it in the middle of you doing the intro.
If I have to hawk anything up, do it on air, off air. What do you want me to do? You want me to mute?
Hey, on air, off air, whichever. You just do it. You do it.
But if I do it, will you throw up? Is my question.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's my sister.
Oh, hello, hi. Yeah, I don't know who anybody is.
Yeah, that's my sister. That is Ashley, whom you've met. Okay,
great.
Here we go. You guys have had tacos together. Let's count it off in 3, 2, 1. You didn't. That didn't
it's not even
register.
necessary. Visually, it looked like I did. It's fine.
I thought it was necessary again. That's why we were doing it. Or were we just doing it for the nostalgic?
Literally just for the nostalgia. There's absolutely no reason to do it.
All right, well, then let's get things started.
All right, let's go.
Welcome to episode 542 of the Pop Culture Roundtable, the podcast that's pretty good at technology, we swear. In this episode, we talk about Rabbit R1 and Disney's animated board game. I'm Andrew Sale.
And I'm Patrick Hill.
So power off and power back on again, because it's time to reboot another episode. Not for nothing, that was strong.
No, that's good. I like that.
That in that one paragraph of content.
Yeah.
That's as much energy as I have exerted in the last 3 days total.
Sure.
So. who we like to kick off every episode by going back and forth across the table, where we talk about things that are new, fun, and noteworthy about our weeks. Most noteworthy, for those of you who are longtime listeners, you'll recognize that we are missing the dulcet tones of our friendly, what?
Let me stop you there. Because the way you just set this up is that this is like good news.
What? No.
You described it as the most noteworthy thing that has happened to us.
It's notable.
So the around... Yeah, but I think in this context, well, not this context,
Hang on, wait.
Generally speaking,
Hang on.
noteworthy is like, can't wait to see how awesome this thing is.
No, because if you notice, I say new, fun, and noteworthy.
Oh.
I guess if I said or noteworthy, then it would be either or. I guess you could take it
Because now
as,
you've said it is new and fun and it's like
both, it is both new and fun and noteworthy, or all things. Okay. Whatever, it's fine. It's not great, but Lauren's not here.
I'll set it up real quick.
Okay,
the biggest pile of suck this week is that Lauren's not here.
Just kidding.
No, Lauren's in it. So everybody knows she just moved. Her internet's broken, so she couldn't make the episode. She's very sad. We're still waiting for like the big reveal of her new space, which, if I had to guess, is going to be some combination of shelves, posters, and a cat. But who's to say? It could be anything.
Or it could just be this dark abyss with a single glowing moon in the corner, like mine.
I don't think she's as sad as you are.
One of these days, and by one of these days, I mean probably in the next week or two, this room will actually shape up into being something, now that everything is said and done. Okay.
No, I hear you.
Well, all of that being said, Patrick, anything cool, fun happened to you this week?
Oh, I'm going to take my time, and I'm going to take Lauren's time. A couple quick things. Number one.
Is it Patrick's soapbox today?
It's not soapbox today.
Okay. All right. That's fine. Go ahead.
Number one, Andrew, you and Becca gifted Mackenzie and I a puzzle. Appreciate it. We've done it. It's finished. It was a two-sided Disney puzzle. I just want to throw this out there. We appreciate that. We enjoy doing puzzles. Great gift, all that stuff. Quality control on Disney-produced puzzles is terrible.
I see that.
Like,
yeah.
It's just bad. There were two pieces missing.
Mm-hmm.
Like the cut. There's too many of like the same shape, or either that or the fit is bad enough that there's too many opportunities for the wrong piece to fit in the wrong spot.
Yeah, it's ambiguous enough that the pieces that shouldn't go there can fit.
And because a large percentage of the puzzle was a repeating pattern, it was brutal. So we love the subject matter. We love doing puzzles. But, I mean, and I understand that the Advent puzzle was not actually a Disney puzzle, but I think the problem is the last two Disney puzzles I've done, there was like something wrong with them that it just makes me go like, no more Disney puzzles.
But that being said, the one that you put together was for sure a Disney puzzle because we bought it on the cruise. So like there's no excuse for that.
The box looked great.
The box does look great. Is it possible that Mackenzie took those two and is just waiting to put them in because she wanted to be the last one to put them in?
We have a theory that she had like her blanket because she was cold, and that she just dropped pieces into her blanket, and then she took the blanket somewhere else and has deposited them around the house.
Oh, so it is possible that the quality control may only be with the shape of the pieces, not necessarily the number of pieces allocated.
Correct.
So we don't know for sure that it is Disney's fault that there is a lack of pieces.
We put the puzzle together within 48 hours, so to be missing two pieces seems unlikely.
Okay, so wait, on which side? On your side or on their side?
It seems unlikely that we caused it, but has Mackenzie, much like deer ticks, picked them up and moved them to another place before? Yes, we have found puzzle pieces one room over before.
Okay, all right. Well, and we know you guys have scorpions, so it's entirely possible they picked it up from there and they carried it somewhere else.
Yeah. Second thing, we finally got the first production photo from Severance. Severance is being filmed now. Apple finally tweeted X'd out their first. I don't even like mentioning it.
Is it called X'd out?
I don't mean it. It's not meant to be a joke, but I feel compelled to not use the Twitter verbiage. But I also hate the fact that I reference it every time. But like, revert the name. But the point is, they tweeted out their first production photo of Severance. It's a Mark or whatever the character's name is, just running. That's it. It's just him running down a hallway. But I just cannot wait for this show. I'm so excited. We've had to wait so long. One of my favorite TV shows in recent memory history, whatever. In any event, Apple they've put out some bangers. So the URL, no, it's the Twitter stuff is annoying. But we finally got our first set photo. Love that. Just need to throw that out here. And then here's the big news this week, and this is made by Mutant. Did you see the Mutant news? Did you read it today, Andrew?
What is Mutant?
Okay, so let's go through the names real quick. Eric Garza, Elijah Wood, Spencer Hickman, Mitch Putnam, Mo Shafiq, and Jenny Jacoby.
So Mondo 2 Electric Boogaloo.
So basically, Spectrovision, which is Elijah Wood's company, and 3/4 of the creative directors from Mondo, with the support and work of Tim Leake from Draft House, plus a board member from South by Southwest, which is Jenny, and then still with licensing from Netflix and Paramount and Disney, or maybe not Disney, but like all these big studios. They have now reformed into a company called Mutant, and it is made by Mutant.com. Their first pre-order is up right now, which is the soundtrack for Society of the Snow. They have a Mutant version, which is in Spanish, and then they have the regular version. Now, these aren't limited editions. These are pre-orders that'll ship in March, I believe. On the site, if you click on posters, there's nothing listed yet, but it says our first releases are coming later this week. And there's already a big group of artists that have signed on to be part of it. And it's it's basically 80% of people I think we've talked to on this show before. But this is the next
website again?
It's made by Mutant.com. I think Doc threw it in the chat.
Typed that in and it's not sending me there.
All right. Doc threw it in the chat. You can check it out there. But this is it. This is the next. Frankly, I think for a lot of us, this is now the new Mondo. That's how people consider it. But
yeah, Mondo 2 Electric Boogaloo.
Very exciting stuff. Again, there's only Disney might have been in the PR. I'm going to pull up the list real quick because
Disney wouldn't be because they didn't own that before anyway. Cyclops is the only one who has Cyclops and Acme.
But it's in the press release. So they have Disney, Universal Pictures, Warner Brothers, Legendary, Netflix. Those are all committed. Wow. And then for Mondo artists that are committed, they list Matt Taylor, Deb Lee, Phantom City Creative, Roy Kurtz, Matthew Woodson, Greg Ruth, Frank Vela, Tegan White, Daniel Danger. Just tons of people. So this is super, super exciting, this stuff. None of us knew about it until I announced it. Jedi Robbies did not put this in Slack 8 hours ago. This is the first you're hearing about it.
My computer will not let me open this. Why would that be
honestly,
the case?
I think that it's like a spending control. I think you might have put like a spending control, and so you can't.
I don't know what spending. Oh, I see what you're saying.
Yeah, it's a very funny joke. Have you tried a different browser? Have you tried to look it up on your phone? Have you tried to click the link that Doc shared? There's like a number of things you could do.
Hey, how about instead I just complain about it on air with everybody?
That's great. I have to edit all this out. So
it won't open in Chrome and it won't open in Safari. So your face.
You clicked on Doc's link, right?
I clicked on Doc's link and then I clicked on Doc's second link. Clicked on both links.
Okay, check your phone. Just look on your phone. Just go to your phone.
Gosh. But it's rude to... Do I even have I have a phone. I bought a phone this week, so I have a phone.
This will all get edited out. Go ahead, take your time. We'll all be quiet.
Okay, cool. Here we go, everybody. So I'm typing in www.
You don't need to put the www.
Made by Mutant.biz.
Come.
This is what I'm getting, my dude. Phishing
Great.
page.
Well, we've all been... so for some reason, AT&T won't let you view it. Here's the thing. Disconnect from your Wi-Fi, because that means your phone's on your Wi-Fi. Just turn Wi-Fi off on your phone and refresh.
Twin Wi-Fi. Made by Mutant.com.
Yeah.
Well, look at that.
Yeah. Hooray, we
Wonder
got it
why
working.
Why would my internet not let me do that? This is my
AT&T
personal.
does not want you to see that page.
Oh, interesting. Okay. Okay, cool. I will be checking that out later on.
Yeah. Check that out at
Okay.
work. You're welcome.
Thanks.
Okay, so anyway, that's it. That's the next evolution. Excited to see some artwork later this week. I mean, the reality is that I don't know that any of this is, from a business standpoint, profitable or worthwhile. I think everyone involved has to do it just for the love of doing it. But I am glad to see...
Genuinely.
Yes, you 100% have to. But the great thing about this group of people is that we know they genuinely love it. We know that they genuinely love the art, love the artists, love the community. And so from that standpoint, wish them a ton of success. Hopefully we'll get some gallery shows in the near future. Hopefully, let's bring back some events. I'm very excited for what's going to come next.
Because all these people, or most of these people, are still based out of Austin. So
Well,
we might see a return of some gallery shows.
Sure, but even seeing Spectrovision now partnering up, I mean, they've been doing stuff with Mondo and with Draft House for years. This is not like someone new, or this isn't an unknown. This is a deep community member that's now part of it. So
yeah, we're talking about Frodo Baggins here. Remember when we went and saw
and he committed a cardinal sin.
Yeah, that's not what I was going to talk about. But if you want to just throw him under the bus fully and completely, and then just go ahead.
Walked out of a movie, walked back in, and then asked Andrew, what did he miss?
It's true.
I think that's like as
Mr.
bad.
Elijah Wood.
That's as bad as your movie etiquette could possibly be.
For this movie that may not be ever seen by the masses, because this is like that special. This was the Who Killed Don Quixote, like the
whatever.
Like the big one or whatever for that.
The one that took forever to make, and like development hell and all this stuff. Yeah.
And he left for like 10 minutes or 15 minutes for a smoke break. Came back and asked, "What did I miss?"
Listen, if we get a print for the film North, you all have to help me get a copy of that. I am the only person that all of you know that regularly reference that film in any context. I hope we get the
There's
film.
that one and Nell. Can we get one for Nell as well?
I refuse to do the voice anymore, but yes.
Oh, man. I thought that would prompt you into doing it.
No.
Okay. Anyway, so I have so many questions. Like, does that mean that their check finally ran out from Funko? Like, have they finally been paid out all of their money? Is their separation agreement like finally lapsed? Like, there's so many things that are going through my head, because this seems like it is a compete, right? This would fall under a do not compete. So
who knows what those contracts look like, and who knows if it was for all the stuff or just specific divisions, or no clue. But I'm sure that all the timing was as tight as it could be.
Yeah, much like with Conan O'Brien, I legally prohibited from being on television tour that he did for that year. Like when he got fired from NBC, and he just took that year and traveled, and that was the name of his that was the name of his show. Seems like a similar situation. Like, the second they were allowed to be back on television, they hit the airwaves pretty hot. Seems like, with that lineup of people and that commitment of talent. Like, that's pretty incredible.
Honestly, my hope for everybody is that they all got a paycheck out of it, and now they get to get back to what they love doing.
I agree. That's my hope too, because we love those guys. Like, we love that team completely. Of people. They've been great to us, and it's been.
I'm
cool
jealous of Mo. Like, I don't like being near him because he is such a good dresser. Like, I already don't have a lot going for me, and then when I'm near him, I just feel the worst.
Yeah, I think Eric Garza is maybe one step behind him, because I think Eric is also a pretty snazzy dresser. But Mo is a sharp dresser. Like, his hair is always just perfectly on point. And honestly, he could be a Ken. Like, that's what would make sense to me.
Yes, absolutely. Like, Eric Garza has more of the I was using my big wrench to work on my car. Like I've got oil on me right now. He's like that a little bit. And you're right, Mo is more of he's like the Ken vibe.
I just want to take a moment for the possibility that they're listening just to say, don't let this weird you out. We would love to talk to you about Mutant. Like,
I
come
think
back
this
on the
has
show.
ensured that I will get invited back.
Oh, someone thinks highly of themselves. Okay.
Anyway, that's it for me. So
congratulations, Mutant. All right. I really only have two things that I want to talk about. One is that there's a new show coming on, and I'm pretty excited about it. This show I saw for the first time. I sent you and Mackenzie a link to it. You just blew it off. You just were like, this is trash. Mackenzie actually watched it. And then when we were at your house, we watched a trailer. I had you watch the trailer for it again because it was clear to me that you weren't excited because you hadn't watched it.
Yeah.
That show is Deal or No Deal Island, which sounds absolutely stupid. It just sounds like an absolute garbage pit of trash television. Oh, which by the way, I want to circle back to yum yucking and my commitment for the year 2024. I'm going to circle back to that. Patrick, you know what I'm talking about, so hold me accountable.
I do.
The show in concept is so stupid. It's like combining Deal or No Deal with Amazing Race, with Survivor, with The Challenge. Like, it's kind of this amalgamation of all these different reality competition shows. But it looks so good when they show it to you. First of all, it's Joe McAnelli. How do you say his name?
No clue.
Joe, come on, Kreider, you'll know who this is.
Related to the guy.
Jedi, you'll know who this is. Joe McAnello, I think is what it is. McAnelli, I don't know. But he's the host of it, not Mr. Howie Manganello. Sure, okay, cool. But he is the host of it, and not Howie Mandel. And it is on this island. You're supposedly at the Banker's Island, and you're going around to try to find money. It is the largest prize of any television show, like reality show, largest cash prize possible of any reality television show. Now that I'm starting to say it, I feel like I'm wrong, but I feel like it's like $200 million or something crazy.
No, there's no way.
Is it $20 million? It might be
not It's not $200 million.
Okay, then I'm glad I prefaced it by saying I'm not confident.
Okay,
because
this is just everything you're saying is
not everything, just the
correct.
One thing. And I even said I don't know that this is right.
I hope it's $200,000.
It's $50. It's a gift card to Dave and Buster's. No, it is. I think it's $20 million then. It's the biggest cash prize that has ever been possible on TV. That's kind of what they're touting this thing as. And if you're familiar with how Deal or No Deal works, the function of the actual getting the deal struck by the banker is all the same, but the difference is you have to go around in these different competitions trying to find cases that are buried around this island, and you have to fight for these cases. Once you have a case, then you take it to the banker. The banker does the thing that the banker does. So anyway, the thing that's so exciting about this is that there is a return of a couple of kind of, I don't know what you would call, like reality show champions, reality show kings. You got Rob from Survivor on there, who is by far one of the greatest to ever play the game. And he is on that show. So I am, if for no other reason to watch the show, I'm excited because he is on it. So that show is coming out, I think, next week. I think it kicks off the first week of February. So we will be talking about that show. Patrick, you and I will be watching it. Because it looks like it's going to be.
Here's the thing. Okay. Yes, it says $200 million.
It says $200 million?
Yes. But what I wonder, they're not giving someone $200 million. So like if we have like 100 cases in circulation and each one of them has X amount of money, then that amount of money is at play, but like nobody's going to find and get every case. You know what I'm saying?
No. That's not how Deal or No Deal works.
No, but
So-
on the island, they say that instead of like you choosing your cases from the lineup, my understanding from the trailers, you have to go find the cases hidden along in the island.
Yes, and one of those cases will have $200 million in it.
Wow.
That's what they're
They're going to
touting.
bury that case 60 feet underground.
Sure. Yeah, and you can't get to, and it's going to be on a different island. but the understanding is that one of these cases will be worth $200 million, which is insane to think of. So like they are really chomping at the bit to get.
And why don't you think it's the banker's island?
What?
Who do you think plays the banker?
I don't know. That's a good question because you only ever see them as a silhouette.
I just wonder if it's like a temp. Like it was a temp at like a PA or something. They just needed someone's silhouette up there. Like go sit up there during the show. They just sit there and like play Candy Crush the whole time.
I think this year the thing that they're excited to announce is that the banker is actually ChatGPT. Or it's Watson from IBM. Because all of these deals that happen are all just a calculated algorithm that they plug in.
Yeah,
like,
of course.
you're holding a case that has eliminated this number.
Yep, we know where
or
you're
you've
going.
opened these cases. We know it's going to be, here's the percentage of how much it should be, and it calculates it immediately. So the whole kind of, pomp and circumstance of it all is obviously just the production side. But I would love to see who, but as far as I remember it, it was always just like a skinny dude. Like
That's not at all what I remember at all.
What did you remember?
Oh, I found it. The banker is Carrie Lauren. Who's that?
Carrie Lauren?
Yeah. It's fine. We can obviously move on. But
TV's
the banker
Carrie Lauren?
The banker is someone named Carrie Lauren. House on Haunted Hill? Who knows?
Oh. You watch that movie,
I remember
show,
it being a
television?
fat guy. And now what I'm realizing is that's the opposite of what it was.
It was never a fat guy. It was a guy before.
I think I just see myself in the people that
I see society as just a reflection of me.
yeah. And so I just see myself in
Honestly,
everything I encounter.
Patrick, that's part of the problem. That's called entitlement. That's the
well, we'll talk about it later.
That's called privilege. So anyway, Deal or No Deal Island. I'm excited to watch that. And then I have a game that I'm going to talk about briefly, and that is a game that you played over the holiday break, Patrick, and that is Disney 100 Labyrinth. Let's see if I can get this to show on the screen. There we go. Labyrinth. And so if you're familiar with the game Labyrinth, then you're better than I am because I didn't know what it was. Could you hear me smacking that into the microphone?
Sure. Yeah, absolutely.
Great. The Labyrinth is a game where the tiles can move as you go around the board. You get characters that you have to identify on these cards, if you can see right here. You see what character you're going after. In this case, they are Disney characters, classic Disney characters. And then you've got to find the best route to get there. So if you see there's a big maze, it's a big labyrinth, but all the pieces, I guess half the pieces in the labyrinth are movable. You slide from one side, which pushes one off the other end, and you've now created a new pathway for the labyrinth, and your goal is to try to get your piece to those characters, collect them, and as you go, you get to flip your cards over. Once you've flipped over all of your cards, that means you've collected all your characters, that means you win. Deceivingly difficult, wouldn't you think, Patrick?
Okay. To understand and play, very, very easy.
Yeah, conceptually, it is very easy. The mechanic is also easy.
Yes, but if you don't mask what you do, it is incredibly easy to be blocked.
Yes.
And the second piece is it's difficult in terms of trying to plan ahead because you can't very much, and two, just keeping track of all the possible maze outcomes at any given time. Because there's going to be plenty of times where there was a more optimal move for you to make, but once you're juggling 10 or 15 options in your head, you just miss that one.
Yeah. So it says it's 7 and older. 7 would be a challenge, I think.
And the games can be kind of long too.
The 4 of us played. You can play up to 4 players, so we played the maximum number of players. But I will say, I know it says 7 and older, but I would say you need to be at least 10 to play this game because there's no way a 7-year-old's ever going to win if you're playing with an adult. Like, it's just not possible given this how the game is structured.
Yeah.
You have to have a little bit more of like a problem-solving mind to do it. So I would say 10 and up. But otherwise, the art in it's great. The pieces were really nice. It's really hard to find. It's actually a Ravensburger game. So anyway, I would check it. I would check it out. Look it up. I think I bought this. I had to have my local game store order it for me. They had access to the distributor who could get it from, but we couldn't even get it on Amazon anymore. So if you want one, head over to, and it was really reasonable. I think it was like $35 or something like that. You can go and just seek it out either online or find your local game store, and they can probably get it for you. So that is Disney 100 Labyrinth. Okay, I think that's gonna be it. Oh, Patrick, do you want to tell people the story?
Which story?
The one where I'm not yum yucking.
Just that you've committed to it?
No. You for real don't remember what I'm talking about? Remember when I said, you know what I'm talking about, and you said yes?
No.
I mean, just tell the story. Here we go. This week, I saw that there was a Dune.
Oh, I know the story.
Okay, cool.
When you said you know the story, I just thought you were asking if I know that you committed to no yum yucking, and I do know that.
Yes, you do.
I'll tell you exactly what was said. So Andrew texted me. Let me pull this up real quick. And you said, so that rash has gotten bigger. Oh, hold on, it's right before this.
it's right before that.
Okay. So he texted me and he said, there's a Dune Part 1 and Part 2 double feature. My response was, are you interested in taking a really long nap? And then he said, this is part of my 2024 no yum yucking agenda. And the idea is that, Andrew, you tried to watch Dune, the first one, 3 times that I know of, and all 3 times did not make it through the movie.
Small amendment. I tried watching it. I tried watching it 2 times and fell asleep. I did the 3rd time. I was able to make it all the way through the movie.
Okay.
I just didn't particularly enjoy the movie.
Which is fine. So I was surprised that you offered to go see the movie again, because that's not a small commitment. I am very down to go see the movie again. I loved the first movie. I think that the experience in theaters that's a movie you should see in theaters if you're going to see it.
I agree. If I want to give this movie its best shot, I need to see it in theaters, because trying to watch it on HBO Max in the comfort of my own living room leads to me falling asleep.
You and Kreider might be on the same page with something, because he said there's a difference between not yum yucking and torturing yourself. It's like,
wow.
I don't think Gravity is a good film, but if you said you can go watch Gravity on a big screen again, I would 100% go watch it on the big screen. So Dune 1, I'm excited. I do want to see the double feature. I mean, I'll have to take a full day off work to do this, or just not tell anybody for a full day, but yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you can check your Slack in between movies, right?
Sure, sounds good.
Easy enough. It's really easy to just say, oh, my internet's not working. Right, Lauren? Okay, that's going to be it for our Around the Table. Let's head on over to our master categories. You look like you want to say something? You don't want to say something?
Oh, I don't think it was that. No, I feel very cool and calm and collected.
Okay, you had a face of like, hey, I just read something and I'm going to respond to it.
I have that face commonly.
Every week we talk about the dice we rolled the week before. Those dice give us our categories. Those categories give us our topics. I think I flipped that, but you get the idea. This week we are talking Sans Lauren, which, like Patrick said, means we're in the Wild West, y'all. We can just talk about whatever the heck we want. That being said, I did follow mine. But Patrick, why don't you kick us off and tell us what the heck Rabbit R1 is?
I couldn't even tell you what mine was. I meant to talk about this a couple of weeks ago, and I did not. And that's it. So Rabbit R1, you can go get it now. Pre-orders are available. Go ahead, Andrew.
That was really short and to the point.
I will tell you what it actually is.
Oh, okay,
so,
cool.
The Rabbit R1 is a new device. It's a device designed, not created by or whatever, purely aesthetically designed by Teenage Engineering, but it's actually created by another company, Rabbit, and the R1 is their first device, and this is a personal. I don't know exactly what they call it. I don't want to say assistant, but it's a personal companion. It's a pocket companion, and the idea is that you ask the rabbit to do things for you. Just imagine Her, the film Her, and like the device that he carries in his pocket. Think that's basically what this device is, and the idea is that you can ask it for to do different tasks for you, and it does those tasks. Yeah, chat, you're exactly correct with everything that you're is being said. Now, what makes the rabbit different than some other devices? So if you're familiar with how like a lot of let's say like LLMs work, these large language models. So if you think of ChatGPT, those type of models, they are training. They're trained on training. They are trained on an amount, but a finite set of data. And then they are pulling responses from that. Now, what happened is those two things would happen. Number one, it was just kind of like image matching, and image matching means that like if you give it a set of it could be letters, or it could be words, or it could be literally images. If you give it a set, it will just tell you the next most logical thing to come in that set. So that was the idea. But that's not always accurate. It's just it's a prediction, but it's not necessarily correct. However, these LLMs get paired with tools like a calculator. And so for certain things you ask for, it is actually using a tool that is correct. And so you're merging this predictive text with real tools, and all of that is great. But the thing is that this training data is huge. I mean, you're talking about just a massive amount of data, and just compiling that data. I mean, it's like millions of dollars every time you compile one of these LLMs down to actually use it. And of course, you would have to continue to update that, etc. Well, what makes the R1 different is rather than using an established finite set piece of a set LLM, they consider it a learning model. They have a name. I think it's a LAM, I believe is the name they call it. I'll have to go back through the paper. They have a research paper published on their website that explains it. But the idea is that it only learns how to do tasks, and it learns by seeing you do it. So what you would do is, if you want, for instance, like let's say that I want my Rabbit R1 to be able to start a live stream for me. Well, then what I do is I go create a new, I think they actually call them rabbits whatever their tasks are, but you go create a new task. I would go to the web page, and I would go through the process of clicking through to start a stream. Okay?
Yes.
And it would see me do that. Then it will perform that action over and over and over, and then it will remember how to do that action. And in the future, I can say, I can ask my personal companion to start a new live stream and set the title to say this, and it will just do it. And it's not because it was ever programmed how to do it. It's because you showed it, it learns from seeing, and then it remembers how to do it. And so along those lines, and this is exactly how we work as humans, right? Like we remember how to, I know how to log into this portal, and I just click these 3 buttons and I enter in this information. Like that's how we remember to do things. And that's also how the R1 remembers to do things. So you can create tasks to do anything. As long as you just demonstrate the task to the R1, then the R1 remembers how to do that task. And ultimately, so out of the box, there are a lot of common applications that the Rabbit already supports. So you can ask it to book flights for you, or change songs, or set directions, or reserve a spot at a restaurant, or whatever. There's all these tasks that it supports out of the box. But ultimately, you can train it to do whatever you can show it how to do. And that's what makes this special. So it's not just something that has a lot of compressed information or has access to a couple of tools, but it is something you can actually teach and train to do the things that you need to be done.
How is this? I can see some obvious, clear reasons why this is different, but is this not just an enhancement? Yes, Doc, you could use this to set up a stream correctly. Is this not just like a next level enhancement of like the Apple Shortcut app, where you give it, like step, step, step?
Okay, so I haven't used the Shortcut app. I have used like HomeKit and stuff like that. And the thing is, I have to rely on the company that made this product supporting HomeKit and supporting like their API and being able to talk back and forth. I have to rely on companies having already built and supporting that ecosystem. Whereas the Rabbit
building a shortcut process.
Yes,
like they support that.
But like with Rabbit, I can just do it. I don't need a developer to do it. I just need to point and click, and then the Rabbit just does it. And now, supposedly, all of these things you can teach. So one of two things can happen. One, you can make Rabbits available so other people can use them. So if you create Rabbits for popular programs, then there will be some type of marketplace. I don't know if it'll be paid or free or how it'll work, but there'll be a marketplace. But the second thing is you can also create Rabbits that only you use. And my understanding is all of that stuff only lives with you and your device. That stuff is not stored somewhere else. Other people don't have access to it. And so from that standpoint, it is supposed to be private as well. Ultimately, like, we'll have to wait till someone much smarter than me dives in and figures out all the details of how it works. But the idea is that no one has to develop an integration. You just do the thing, it sees you do it, and it can mimic it.
So I looked up pictures of this while you were talking, and it seems like I've seen photos of people having this thing plugged in to their phone or plugged into their computer. This whole thing has to be, it's a wired thing. Yes?
No, so it is wireless when you're using it. You would plug it in to charge it, or I'm not sure if when you want to use the Rabbit portal to actually create new Rabbits, maybe you have to plug it in then to do it. Okay. But that also might happen on just a standalone interface. I'm not really sure of that part, but you can use it untethered wirelessly on you, and you see that in the demo video that they have up.
And I'm guessing that I haven't watched the demo video yet, obviously, but I'm guessing that means everything has to be some sort of digital interface. It has to be you have to be doing something digitally in order for it to be wireless, as opposed to it being like plugged in, where if it was plugged in, then it could potentially interact with physical items that are tethered to your computer.
Oh, interesting.
You know what I'm saying?
So all of the examples I've seen are interacting with like other digital portals, basically.
Yeah.
Other digital sites, other applications, other portals.
Mostly launching things.
And it doesn't even have to be launching. It can be anything, because the way I use anything is ultimately pointing and clicking. You know what I'm saying? So like every application I use on my computer, so from that standpoint, if you have an application that controls hardware, then the Rabbit could control the application that controls the hardware. Yes.
Yeah. So Will just said exactly what I was thinking. This is the next if this then that deal, which is similar to the shortcuts, but this is, you can tell it what to do and it learns, as opposed to you having to program the steps. You don't have
to do anything. Literally, like you're starting a new one, you go to the URL, you click the 4 things, type it in, and it understands and learns based on that. So there's no programming involved. It is just showing.
Okay. All right. Are you going to pick one of these up? Are you going to wait till they come out and see?
No, probably not. I mean, I have a kind of cynical take on this, which is that, so it's $199, which, frankly, for I don't think there are many things you can buy that Teenage Engineering designs for less than $199.
These are the same people who did that like calculator that you liked, right? Like
the pocket game thing that I showed.
That was all mechanical and had like all the mobile parts.
Exactly. It's the same company. So all their stuff is super top notch. It's all really beautiful stuff. So $199, I do think it's a great deal for that. I am very interested in them. That said, my cynical take is anything that is successful. Like, I don't like the idea of having a separate device. Like, I already have a phone in my pocket, and I hate the idea of like, I have to have a phone in a pocket and an R1 or one of like the Humane pens or something like that. I think that's kind of dumb. I haven't bought into that bit of it yet. And like I would need to minimize my phone and like maybe only use it in a watch interface before I would introduce like another auxiliary piece of hardware. So my take is that anything that is really awesome and works incredibly well will just get swallowed up by a huge manufacturer and built into like one of our devices in the next year or two. Which again is a bad take, and you should support people that make groundbreaking stuff and all of that. But I only have so many pockets, and I have a lot more pockets than any of the women in here. Am I right? High five,
Hey,
high five. But like
we know the struggle.
But I still only have so many pockets, and I don't want to put this in one of them. If anything, I want it more for like the novelty of it, when inevitably it's bricked in 2 years or a year and a half, or as fast as this moves in the next 3 months.
Yeah.
And I could just like put it on a shelf behind me and like point to it as some time in history. Like that's kind of more
Like,
interesting to me at this point.
Like something right there over your shoulder. That right there.
Boo. Yeah, exactly. I mean that like that's the same. That's how I regard the R1.
Yeah.
I guess I regard this more highly because I bought this, but
you
like
did actually buy that, and it was well. What's the breakdown ratio? Because like for TVs, we learned that $300 is the threshold that of which you will break your high horse. You'll fall off your high horse. But what would that ratio be? Would it need to be $150? Is that like
for like throwaway cash?
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean,
how many iPads?
If this was $50, I wouldn't buy it. I don't know. Like I have to actually want something.
There is no dollar amount less that you would actually own this thing at this point in the game.
Here's what's funny. If it was too inexpensive, I would think it was garbage. But because of that, any price that validates its worth is more than I want to pay.
Okay, how about this though, Patrick? Let's say, how about this? I buy it for $200. You buy it for me for $400. How's that sound?
No, that doesn't make sense. If I won it in a raffle, I would give them my address so they could ship it to me.
Hey, look at that. But
so
would
that
you
is
actually, you'd actually give them the church's address.
But I would never even enter my name in the raffle because they would just lose my details or sell them to someone else, and I would get even more junk mail than I already get.
Well, you would be entered because every time I enter a raffle, I put your name and your info.
But I will say, of all the... I think I've seen like 3 personal devices in the last like 2 months that have been big enough that like the video gets shared at work or something like that. This is my favorite of them. I should be clear, like the Humane AI pen, I think is a joke. I
don't know what that is. Is that the little like square?
Yeah, the little lapel looks like an AirPod case thing. Like that, I think that's a joke. This, at least like conceptually, like I understand why what they're doing is different. I can see how this is unique to just putting an LLM in a small device, and I get that. I still just already have a phone, and I don't know that I'm so inconvenienced or worn down by the existing tech in my life that I want to introduce something to make it more convenient. And I'm waiting to ultimately be proved wrong, and eventually a device will come along that I'll just throw all this thought out the window.
Will threw out this idea while you were chatting that, well, I guess we were chatting, but while you were talking specifically, you think people would use this piece of technology as a surveillance, like leaving it in their classroom when their students aren't, when they're not there and their students are, or their kids are doing things and they're not around, to surveil and see what it learns by watching what the people are doing while that's happening?
I don't think that's what this does at all.
Okay, well,
but you're just asking about the idea of spying on people?
Yeah, can I spy on people? That's my question.
So one thing this device does, by the way, is that the camera actually turns so the lens is covered up. It's not like on your phone, it's always facing out, right? So whenever you're holding your phone to your face, a camera is looking you in the face, okay? Yes. And you just have to trust that the green light's going to let you know when it's on.
Well, no, it's like snapping pictures every so many seconds.
Sure.
Right? No, it is.
Well, you're saying because of the... Well, it is anyway because of the buffer for like live photo and stuff like that.
That's what I'm talking about. Yeah. Like it's always snapping photos.
So what I'm saying is that this device at least does this thing where if you're not using the camera, it actually I think rotates into like a closed position, basically.
So it's like a mechanical version of what my uncle does when he puts like a piece of duct tape over the front of his computer.
Yeah, exactly. By the way, you should watch the demo video. The demo video just shows you how to rip off imagery, because like literally the demo video from like the CEO of the company is showing you how to take photos and strip watermarks off of them. Which I think is a ridiculous thing to include in a demo.
It's
but
so
you
stupid.
should check it out.
That is a fast way to lose a lot of support.
You should check it out. It was such a weird thing to include. It was such a weird thing to put in a demo video. But check out our Rabbit R1 demo video, and I think you'll find it really interesting. And just go read some of the. They just call it their research paper. I mean, it's a truncated version, but they have some more information on their website, and I do think it's really fascinating. I think if you read it, you'll get a much better understanding of what's happening. So,
well, there's so much that I feel like I want to say about that, and some of it will be just like seeing how this technology advances and whether or not it's actually useful for people, or if it's just a novelty, like helpful device. Like,
yeah, I don't think it's. Yes, I understand what you're saying. Like in this form, again, I don't think it's solving a big enough need or providing enough value that it does anything for me. That said, everything we're seeing is slowly inching that boundary forward of what's possible.
Sure.
And eventually it will end up in a form that is groundbreaking. And this is how we get there. I would say that for the people that are wanting to put together their own museum, there is a lot of soon to be outdated tech to be
fodder.
Collecting right now.
We'll say fodder.
But at least it looks cool.
It makes me think of the Roomba, because when the Roomba first came out, like people were so like, this is the future. This is going to change how we do everything. There has been no advancement in the Roomba, as far as I know. In the past, how many years has it been out? Upwards of 3? I'm just kidding. I know it's been out for way longer than that. But is this just another thing that does one thing a specific way, but isn't an all-inclusive? We still don't have the house of the future that Walt Disney promised us, or the Jetsons promised us, where it does everything for us. Everything is getting smarter individually. But not everything is. I know. I'm sure you do. People still use the Roomba. I'm not saying the Roomba is bad. Can I just I'm not yucking Roombas. Okay, everybody.
Here we go again.
Good
Here we
Lord.
go.
Okay.
Here we go. Kreider loves Roombas.
People who use Roombas are fine. They're fine by me. My point is, this is a new device that helps you with one thing. We have yet to find a thing that helps you with everything. Everything is getting smarter in its own vacuum. Pun not intended.
But the idea of the rabbit, and not to spend too much time on this, is exactly what you're saying, in that it can work with any of these services that you use without having to have a developer or have an integrator or have additional support.
As long as there's a digital interface for it. That's my point.
I mean, it can't water your plants, if that's your question.
That's my point. I'm saying we're not really any closer to the house of the future, because everything still is still in its own little ecosystem. I think when we got the Nest products and we got the Google Home, and when those merged and everything, like, those are good things, but without having an Amazon account, you can't order things. Without having a Spotify or an Amazon Music account, you can't listen to things. Like, everything is still.
Here's the thing: you still don't want this anyway. Like, side note, we won't get into this conversation, but I mean, up until this past week, Nest was just selling all. Not Nest. Ring was selling all of your videos to law enforcement so they could spy on people in your neighborhood. And Roombas are like mapping your house and giving that information to companies. And so, like, I don't know that there's a whole other conversation about just how invasive tech is. So
name one person who's worried about that.
I can tell you. I don't want any of this stuff.
I can tell you one person, and she's texting me on the side right now, and that's your mom. Your mom is worried about people watching what's going on in Roombas mapping them. And that's fine. Like, people, I think, but I'm just saying, how far have we come for all these years, and yet they are still contingent upon your mom just agreed emphatically in all caps that yes, she is worried about this. That all of these things are still operating not independent of, like, everything is operating independently of each other. You know what I'm saying?
And so the issue is that even the things that are given to us as if things are made inexpensively, it's just because the real moneymaker is the data it's harvesting from us.
Right. Someone's paying for it.
And we're just, I mean, everything is built on the kind of milking us for as much information as possible, and then using that information in what we hope is only to just try to sell us more stuff. But in worst case, it's like, you know, for other things, like again, like people, you know, surveilling your neighborhood and in weird things like that. So I don't know, like,
watch.
Not quite neighborhood watch. So
The Knights of the Night, as Dwight would call it.
So the whole thing is just the yes, we on one hand we want the home of the future, like the tech making every part more efficient and more valuable, and letting us like take a break and whatever. But that's just, you know, unfortunately we don't get that. We that all gets leveraged to make more money off of us, and then we just get displaced from our jobs. And then our incomes go down, and now we're broke because of all the. It's like a horribly destructive thing. So, what would be great is the day that we create stuff that is so efficient, we all just get to, you know, sit on the beach and like let the tide lap our chairs. But unfortunately, that's never going to happen. What's going to happen is just we're going to make less and less money, and the minimum wage will never get raised, and then robots will do everything, and then we're all going to live in a gutter. Was this the soapbox you were asking
for? And this has been Patrick's happy thoughts for the night. You know, we all know what happens if the house ultimately becomes so self-aware. When you're playing video games, the score that you yell out makes the oven get hotter, and then it catches fire, and then
best case scenario, man, and I just want that dog. Best case scenario.
Well, like Patrick was saying at the end there is a great, beautiful tomorrow, and it is shining at the end of every day. Okay,
that's not what I said.
We will. That's what I heard. That was my takeaway. Okay, let me talk briefly about my category, because I think it's super cool. This is another game, and shocker, it's another Disney game. This is a game that I got for Christmas, and by got for Christmas, I mean I bought it for myself around Christmas time, and that is called Walt Disney Animation Studios Animated. This is a co-op board game. That you are where you are putting together some of Disney's classic animated films. So I'm going to show you briefly what this game is like. Each player gets their own board, and each board is consistent with one of, I think they have 6 different films represented. This one that I pulled out is the Aladdin board.
This looks so good, by the way.
It does look so good, and the style in this game is phenomenal. So you have this board, and on this board, if you're watching the stream, then you're going to get a visual of this. I'm going to do an okay job of explaining it, but really you need to look at it. But it is a double layer board. So as you can see, there's a groove here where these pieces go, and these pieces, as you put them together, they make a scene. Okay, I think this goes somewhere over here.
Yeah, sure.
Something like that.
Yeah. I mean, I think
it's up top.
Goes up top, yeah.
But anyway, you get the idea. And as you fill up the scene, you are able to do different things. And so as you go, there's a studio that you're having to buy supplies from. One of the supplies is ink. So you get jars of ink, and you need specific colors of ink, because once you've filled up one section of your scene, you can paint, if you get the right ink and paint. You can paint animation cells with the characters that you need on it. There we go.
Wow.
So these are actual translucent, like plastic animation cells, and the characters are painted on top of it. And see if I can get it to focus. There we go. And so as you go, you paint the scene, and there's 3 different characters for each board. You have to do different actions in which to do this. I'm not going to walk through all the details of this because it is a little bit complicated, the mechanic of the game. But each of the movies comes in this in its own little box, and the box looks like a book, And on the shelf, all these books line up, and it has the name of the movie. Let me see if I can show you this. In the box, it has the name of the movie, and then it's a bookshelf with the different dates on it. Can you see that?
Yeah, it looks awesome.
So you choose which movies you want to play with, and then you have to once you get the movie designed, then you have to go and satisfy a certain number of requirements to defeat the bad guy from that movie. So in this movie, it's Jafar. Once you've defeated Jafar, you flip a board over that has like
I thought it was going to be like the studio financier.
Yeah, no. The movies are you go against their villain, obviously, and then once you've completed your film, you flip it over. Then you move on to help other people complete their film. It is co-op because you have, I think, 13 weeks or months. I'm not sure. You have 13 rounds to get your movie from start date to completion. And if you don't get your movies finished for the premiere date, you lose the game. If not all of the people get their movies ready for the big screen, you lose out.
So this studio is having to produce how many movies simultaneously?
Up to 4, because this is an up to 4 player game.
And they have a 13-month window to hand animate up to 4 feature-length films.
You know what? I'm just going to look at what it says because...
So it is run the way Disney's actually run.
Yeah, it is run exactly like how Disney is actually run. So this is your completion timeline, and if you don't get it completed by the 13th week, but this is the studio board. There are different actions that you can do on this studio board. You can, if I start telling you, then I have to go into all of it, and there's so much to describe. But
it is really detail. The point is, it's beautiful. Have you actually played it?
Yeah, so Becca and I have played it. Each character, by the way, gets like special abilities, and you get a token. This particular movie comes with a genie token. There's 101 Dalmatians, and it comes with these little dog treats. And each movie and the characters play asymmetrically. So each character has each movie has a different set of things that it actually does. I have played this game. It's tricky. Becca and I only barely beat it. Like we got to the 13th. Once you get to the 13th week, you get one final round to complete all the movies. We managed to do it with by just drawing the right card, and it afforded us the opportunity to turn them in. But I would absolutely recommend this game to anybody who's a Disney fan, or a fan of games that play a little bit differently. This isn't like your run of the mill, spin a spinner or roll a dice and move around a board. Like this is, it takes a real level of cooperation, much like when we've played Professor Evil and the Citadel of Time. Like you really have to work together with people to complete it. This is very similar to that. If you don't work with other people and you're just out for yourself, you will both lose. Like that's just the name of the game. But the style is really great. I don't know if you can see all of them have this kind of retro 60s style art. All of them do. And the movies that are represented are Alice in Wonderland, Fantasia, Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, Aladdin, and 101 Dalmatians. So I guess there's 5 movies that you can choose from. So that is the game. There's a lot more to it, but I wanted to show all this. I think the thing that drew me to the game initially was these little cell animated characters. Like
the actual like game assets are really neat. Like the little shelf, the kind of books and the cells and all that stuff looks really nice. I don't have any confidence it's a fun game. I tend to just immediately assume that things that look really nice are not fun, and things that are really fun look horrifying. But that said, I would still lean towards buying something that looked nice over buying something that was fun.
I think you would like this game. The level of strategy in it is there. This is not for. Okay. This game actually says it's for 10 and up. I think that's good. Realistically, you'd probably want to play it with a teenager. Little kids would really need to they would really need to lean in on you, and you'd be essentially playing their turns for them, which may not be as fun. But I think the level of strategy is there with this game that I think you would actually like it. It is produced by Funko, so there's a downside for you. It is produced by Funko. It's not a Ravensburger game. which seemingly most of the Disney games these days we see are Ravensburger. So this one's Funko. But the pieces are good, and
I mean, from
mechanic is
a
great.
production quality standpoint, I don't know that I do have any complaints with Funko. In the same way, I don't have any complaints with Ravensburger, however you say it. The things that Disney produces that aren't by those companies, I tend to take more issue with. But like just showing that the double layer board, like that looks super high quality.
Yeah, the box is nice too. The one thing that's frustrating on this game that Funko does on all their games though is they put this sticker on the actual box.
Yeah.
And not like they don't wrap it in plastic, so now you always will have these stickers on there, which is annoying to me. But yeah, like it's a hearty game. The print design, everything is really, really well done. And again, you're not playing Disney. You're not playing as Disney proper. You're playing as the animation studio, which I think is it really adds this layer. The inside of the box, I didn't show you that, but the inside of the box has a really cool pattern that looks like it's retro, like 50s, 60s style artwork, like illustrations.
It would be cool if it came with like a pack of cigarettes.
It comes with a coupon for cigarettes.
Great.
So you can get that. Yeah, you can't get them on there because it is still a kid's game. But if you're 18
like a
or
flask tie. When did those come out? I guess when Disney animation was huge, you would just openly have liquor and just whatever.
Yeah, you would just have your decanter of scotch sitting there. Here, this is the inside of the box. I had to open it back up anyway. So those colors are fantastic. Like
How much is the game?
I want to say it was $40.
Yeah,
I bought it online. I think it was $40. Great price for the game that it is. It's really hefty. It's not cheap. It doesn't feel cheap in your hands. So anyway, I'm a sucker for that like retro style drawing style because it brings back all that like mid-century modern feel. The whole thing is designed mid-century modern with like wood grains and things like that are just, and those like subtle soft colors that have pops of like bright colors, but they still have the softness to them. It has all of that as part of the aesthetic to it, and I'm absolutely here for it. So
great.
Walt Disney Animation Studios animated a cooperative game. Go pick it up if you want to, and if you don't, then just come over to my house and we'll play it together.
Great.
Okay, I think that's going to be it for this week's episode. Let's roll some dice. Let's figure out what...
I don't know why I'm not going to respect whatever this says, but I will. 16. So, Lauren, thank you. 16, whatever that means.
16.
And 4.
Nope,
again.
you're going to do it again, Patrick. Oh, no, I rolled a 19. Sorry, I rolled a 19.
Oh, great. Perfect.
Okay, so a 19
You got that
and
confused?
a 3. So, 19 and a 3. Okay, everybody. We did it. We made it to the end. Honestly, when it was just the two of us, I thought this was going to be like a 15-minute episode. Turns out, when we don't see each other and hang out a whole lot, we have a lot to talk about. And that's okay. You're muted or something. Your audio no longer nothing. You got nothing. Just the defeat. Just the defeat. Hey, how about I just run us through the end here, and we will. You can cut this part, but we'll get there together. Here we go. Thanks so much for tuning in to this episode. You can find show notes and links to all the stuff we talked about over at mof1.network. While you're there, you can find a whole slew of other episodes, over 500 actually, in our archive, to see things that we've talked about, see things that, see people that we've talked to. There's a whole lot going on that you want to make sure you are here to see. Did you just lose? Okay, you can't hear me. I'm gonna take that last piece again. Okay, hang on. We're just right at the end, so I'll just finish it. Hang on. Just don't leave and come back mid because it throws me. There's a whole bunch of stuff for you to see over in our archive. And there's surely something for you from over the years. We've been doing this for enough years. You can send this to somebody. There's something for them. Please share it with your friends. We had Lightning and Arrows last week shared what we were doing on social media. He did a whole like little mini episode about it on his Instagram story, and it was so cool. So thank you for doing that, Ernie. We need more Ernies out there. So be like Ernie and share the show, because that's what we do. That's what friends do. But otherwise, you can find us on twitch.tv/M of1 podcast. You can subscribe on there for free. If you have a Prime membership, just throw your Bezos bucks right to it. It's free for you. Super helps us out. Thank you for all of you who do that. And if you're not watching this, why aren't you? There's so much more fun stuff to do when you're watching it online, live, so you can actually be a part of the show. What else is there? There's nothing else. I think that's it. Find us on social media at M of One Podcast. But for now, I'm Andrew, and for Patrick, peace out. Adios. Bye.
Bye. Nothing?
What the? Oh, we heard it that time.
I don't know. But you can hear me now.
Hey, Kate, I did not see the story shared. Your story shared. Did you tag me in it too?
Yeah, already shared.
Because if you tagged me in it, it did not come through for me. The one from Ernie did. And I apologize. We will talk about it next week.
Wait, what happened? What are we talking about?
I was talking about sharing the show, and Ernie had shared the show he did like a little mini like 2-minute or 3-minute Instagram story share of the podcast and talked about the show. And I was talking about that, and Kate said that she also shared a story, but I didn't see. Oh, so you only tagged Master of One, so I didn't see that one come through.
So you said that this episode took longer than last week, and what I was trying to say was that you didn't even mention the show Ted, which I know that you watched this week for the first time.
Oh yeah, I did watch Ted.
Yeah,
I did. I actually intended to talk about it too.
Yeah.
Did you continue to watch it?
I haven't yet. No.
I did.
I want to.
Yeah.
Is it good?
Yeah. We'll talk about it next week. You watch more episodes.
I plan to continue watching. I mean, I enjoyed the show. If anybody hasn't seen it, if you liked the film, but you're just convinced that anything since the film is like a poor attempt at a cash grab,
no,
it's a funny show.
No. Yeah, this show it's smart. But we'll talk about it more next week because it is a good show. I was waiting to finish it before.
Kate accidentally tagged Master of None.
So Aziz Ansari was super.
So Aziz Ansari would have seen it. We would not see it.
He was very grateful to you.
Yeah. You want to hear a dumb? You want to hear a thing?
Yeah.
I had a band that I was in, and one time we started getting a ton of literally overnight. Like woke up one morning. And I have so many emails of people like, where can I buy your album? And where can I buy merch? And where can I do this? Where can I come see you? And
that sucks, man. I'm sorry.
I, of course, was like, look at this guy right here. Turns out that it was a different band with the same band name. And they were featured as on an episode of The OC. And whenever people were Googling for that band, they were finding our band, who had music that sounded nothing like the music on the OC. I do not know why anybody would have thought, oh, this must be the same group of people. So anyway, then it turned out that all of that attention did not belong to me, and then I was back to my normal life, but just a little sadder.
You saying that reminded me of a story I was going to share on here, and I'll share it now, I guess, because there's still people listening. So here we go. Have you seen what American Airlines is doing for the Super Bowl? So they're masterfully tying to this whole thing with Taylor Swift and the player from the Kansas City Chiefs, who I'm not
Travis
even sure.
Kelce.
Sure, Travis Kelce, sure. Isn't that the drummer from Blink-182? So kind of like feeding off of that relationship, if you fly to Vegas from Kansas City, yes. If you fly to Vegas from Kansas City, your flight number is 1987, which is one of her albums. And then when you fly back from Vegas to Kansas City, it is 83 or whatever his number is. That's the flight number, as a way just to capitalize on all those people who are doing that. I think that's such a fun 87. There you go. I think that is such a fun way to just kind of celebrate this thing, this cultural phenomenon, right? This is another, and it's unique and it's creative, and it's It's subtle and it's not really affecting anything, but it is just a fun thing to do for people who are excited about stuff like that. Anyway, I thought it was a cool marketing thing. That's all.
Yeah, that's great.
You are so close to yum yucking.
My
right now.
normal body is the size of Travis Kelce with full football gear on.
Okay. You're saying you have built-in football
I have the
pads
body of a man
inside of another whole man suit.
inside of another whole man suit. Yes.
Michael, I need to find out who said that I am a small man, or that I am just a small man puppeting a larger man's body. You remember that episode of Kevin with the rumors?
Yeah, so the couple's Halloween concept. I am going to go as Travis, and Mackenzie's going to go as Travis's brother.
Seth.
I don't know his brother's name.
I don't know who's. Does he have a brother?
Yeah.
Find out. We
He
all
does.
have
I don't really. Listen, Mackenzie can tell you all the details. I do not know. I do know that we've been watching a lot of football as a family recently. Kate, I don't know who you tag because I don't have social media. I'm just being funny. I don't know. His name's Jason. So I'll go as Travis and Mackenzie will go as Jason.
I'm going to go as Nick, and Becca is going to go as Joe. Those are the other two ones, right? You said the first two Jonas Brothers, and we said the other two.
I don't know. Did we ever communicate that was we were the Jonas Brothers?
We didn't talk about the you mean on here?
Yeah.
We didn't talk about the bachelor party at all.
Mackenzie, I don't think I told you this. I'm not going to go in the whole story. I'm not telling the story. But when we did the thing, we had to have all had fake names. And me and Andrew
Jonathan and JP.
Jonathan and JP all had Jonas Brothers names. Because the night before we played a game that Nick Jonas endorsed but clearly did not proofread.
No,
and
he got a check cut to him for them.
And then after that,
he
he did not care at all what happened to it.
Correct.
And so we asked them to play Jonas Brothers music, in which they were very judgy about.
Yes, they were.
And it wasn't until the end that someone asked a question about the names, and then we had to reveal
And the host was like, "Oh, I totally missed it."
Yeah, nobody got it. They just thought that.
And you were Kevin, the unknown Jonas brother, the one who hasn't signed any of the release papers. So
yeah,
it was great. Okay. On that note, everybody.
Is music playing right now?
Yeah, sounds good. It's a vibe.
It's all so broken. None of my meters are working. Let's just get out of here.
Okay.
I'm turning it up. Can't hear you anymore.
Hey, happy birthday, everybody.
I'm gonna just make it louder and louder.
Happy birthday, everybody.
All right, happy birthday. Is there's seriously music playing right now?
Yeah, it's cranking. Yeah.
Okay.